Hi teachers, the goal of this quick video is to walk through publishing your site that you've created in Google Sites. The reason why I created a separate video from what Google has is I think it's important to understand from a district perspective what the different levels of publishing your site does. So first off, this would be you do not want to publish until you actually have a product that you want people to view. So if you want to see what your site looks like live before you publish it, you can use this wonderful preview button up here. The thing I love about the preview button is it lets you see what it would look like on a tablet, what it would look like on mobile, and then what it would look like on a normal computer screen. And then we would just hit the X in order to get out of that. So when I am ready to publish for the first time, I simply will come up and click this publish button. Now this drop down here has some really important settings that you're going to want to pay attention to. So if I click to look at my settings, I can see what the name of my web address is. So you'll notice that this whole link here becomes the link to the home page of your website. So every website designed within school accounts will be sites.google.com/knowlmstead.org and then the name of your site. You can change the name of your site. It just will have to be unique to the knowlmstead.org organization. So you can review, editors must review changes before publishing. I always keep this check because every once in a while I make changes and then something doesn't make sense and I don't want to publish that for viewers. The other thing that you want to pay attention to is you want to come up to the settings gear. I'm sorry, not the settings gear, the share gear or the sharing up here. And you want to check how you have your site shared. So this works very similar to other Google Docs. If you add someone up here, you can add individual sharing settings. So if I want to add my test account, I can choose if my test account can edit it or they can just view the published site. Now, this is probably the best way if you have a very limited number of people that need to see your site. This can work with parents, but do keep in mind that the parents have to have a Google account in order for this to work. So adding people who don't have a Google account is not really going to do anything for them. Down here, if we come to the change, these are the two things you're going to want to pay a lot of attention to. So right now I have my draft set as restricted. That means the only people that can see my draft of my site would be myself. You probably want it left as that unless if you have a co-teacher or you're working on something collaboratively with a student. This next part is also very important. My strong recommendation would be, unless if you intend on using this site with parents, that you leave it published to North Olmsted City Schools. So that means that in order for someone to view this site, they must have a Knowlmstead account. This is how I also have my district help site published as well within our organization. If you're using the site with parents, then you probably will want it to be published publicly. So that means anyone on the web could potentially access this site. Just keep in mind, if you are publishing publicly, you want to be very careful about student privacy and make sure that your administrator is aware of whatever you're adding. Typically, I suggest if you're publishing publicly, always err on the side of caution. Don't publish any type of student names or personal information and use it more as a resource site that you could share with parents. So North Olmsted City Schools is a great starting place. If you want parents to view that site, they would simply need to log in through their child's account. And this may be appropriate for what you're wanting to do. So think about that before you publish. Make sure that you have this set to whatever settings you want before you go forward and publish this for other users. And then when we're ready, we're going to click the publish. It's going to tell me that I don't have any changes, so I'm going to just make a quick I'm gonna make a quick space bar change, and I'm gonna click publish. It's going to bring up what I currently have published and then the draft. I can view all of those changes, go back through things, and then when I'm ready, I can click publish and this site will become live. And that's it. Please email me if you have any questions. Again, I strongly recommend making sure that your administrator knows if you're publishing a site and in what capacity you're using the site, just in case if you need to discuss it further.